What's up, y'all? How y'all doing? Y'all good? I want to thank y'all for watching again. Please share, like, comment, and share. Subscribe if you haven't done that. But I wanted to talk to y'all about something that was a little random that happened to me on Tuesday night. I was on my way home from Bible study, and I really just started thinking about this friend that used to be in my life, and how things kind of played out as it relates to our friendship, um, and how it just kind of fizzled out. Didn't really fall out, just kind of fizzled out. But it was kind of interesting the way that it happened, and so I was just thinking about it. And one of the things that I thought about was I could not understand why this person, like, why this person had the kind of reaction they did to some of the people in my life. It was weird because the only thing, like, I really believe, and I really know now after Tuesday night, that what happened was there was this person that they liked, and then I liked them, and then they stopped liking them, but I kept liking them. And that was literally it. And it was like, to me, that was not enough to end a friendship, like, just like that. But I just thought about how it happened and why they had that type of reaction. And after that, God just started speaking. And I try not to be too deep, but God be talking. Like, you might not even believe in God. I don't know. You might not believe in the Holy Spirit. But let me tell you something. God be talking. Okay? So, he was talking to me. So, anyway, one of the first things that happened was God, brought to my remembrance some of the things that they said in this one particular conversation. And I was like, I never thought about that. Like I thought about it in that moment, but I never took it that seriously. And one thing is that sometimes people will say things and they'll be shady, but not necessarily malicious. Like, they might not have any, like, evil intent consciously, but there was something in them that attacked me. Like, it really, really was. And they said some things that they probably had good intentions about, but it was one of those things that I could tell it was said to try to make me question myself, to question my adequacy for the things that God was leading me into. And they talked about my physical attributes and their physical attributes, and asked me, was I jealous of them? It was just weird. And it was like, in that moment, I didn't think anything about it. I just literally answered the question. I was like, oh, no, cool, boom, 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 whatever. But God brought that back to me, and he was like, listen. And one thing that God showed me in that was that they kind of fell in love. No, they was a if you it's like a mailman, right? So say, like, with a mailman, UPS man, FedEx man, whatever the case may be, their job is to pick up a package, letter, whatever the case may be, that you ordered or that was ordered for you, and to bring it to you. At no point does it actually belong to them. Your name is on it. It's purpose for you. It's promised to you. You've paid for it, whatever. It's yours. Somebody else paid for it. It comes to you. It's never theirs. And I think it was because this person, and that was the thing, they connected me to so much purpose in my life. Like, there are things that I do to this very day that are a part of my life and will be a part of my life forever because of this person. And so I gave them a credit for that. you know. But God was like, they got too attached to it and they had to come up off of it, and that's why they were uncomfortable with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, because that's what I couldn't understand, the level of discomfort they had with what God was doing in my life, because it wasn't even at that moment in my life, it wasn't even that serious. I didn't even understand the magnitude of it. It was just the seed of the significance that was going on, and they couldn't handle it. And I was like, good God, why? And like all these years, I never understood it. But Tuesday night, God was like, "Let me talk to you. Let walk me while I talk to you now." And I was like, man. And I remembered even one of the things that the Holy Spirit brought back to my remembrance on Tuesday night was scaffolding. Right? I heard this minister one time talk about scaffolding and how what scaffolding is, if you're not familiar with it. It's like if you see somebody building a building, or sometimes when they're doing repairs or whatever the case may be, they have like this structure. It's like ladders and, you know, levels and ladders and stuff that it's not temporary. Even if it's long, if it's not permanent, even if it's long term, it's still temporary, and it's there for the purpose of building, preparing, repairing, whatever the case may be. But once the finished product is done, it's no longer there, you know. And God reminded me even how he told me years, I mean, probably in my first year of my relationship with God, I remember at one point, and he used to bring this to me periodically, but I remember him saying to me that once I really started to walk in my blessings and step into the things that he has destined for me to do, and I started to really walk in my purpose, there were going to be people that weren't going to be there, and there were going to be people that weren't going to be happy, that I would think in my mind would be my biggest cheerleaders or cheer for me or whatever the case may be. And when he said that to me, like, in my head, I saw, oh, it's going to be that person, it's going to be that person. But I didn't know it was going to be somebody so close to me that was going to have an issue with me being, you know, blessed and walking into the things that God has called me to do. And I was like, oh, man, this is crazy. Because the thing, at the end of the day, a snake is a snake. And a snake might not necessarily mean you any harm, but it's going to do what a snake does, regardless. And it's just like so much. Like, I hate to call that person a snake, but once that jealousy starts to creep in and you start getting attached, and you kind of, it can kind of breed like some bad things in your heart. It's not you, but it's just some stuff, you know, that was in there. And I was like, man, God, this is like, it was wild to me. It was wild to me. And what was so crazy about it was that I actually almost called my pastor. I was like, I'm going to call my pastor because this is too crazy. God is saying this, God is saying that, and I'm hyped. But it was too late at night, and that would have been weird to call my pastor at like 10 or 11. Like, that would have been strange. So I didn't. And the next day, he had posted this video on Facebook where he was essentially saying everything that God had said to me the night before. And I was like, wow. That's why I was like, I gotta believe in the Holy Spirit. I was talking and talking and talking. Like, everybody cannot have access to you all the time. Sometimes you do have to cut people off. And people say that that's toxic. They're like, oh, well, that's not a healthy mentality because you're gonna be single and da da da. Like, being single is not nearly as bad as being connected to the wrong person. Not having any friends is not nearly as bad as having the wrong friends. Trust me. And sometimes in life you need a clean break in order to even know how to properly deal with people. You have to take a step back from them and learn what's going on with you, what's going on with them, and really hear from God concerning that person. So sometimes you do need to cut people off. Okay? It just is what it is. And the thing that was so interesting, there was so many things that God said, and I'm sure I forgot something, but one of the things that tripped me out was, like, after all of this, like, after all of that, at the end of that whole thing, God, now this was for me, and maybe it's for you, but I believe that there are so many of us that are entering into a season. Turn the light on, even though I'm not looking real cute. We are entering into a season where all those little sneaky attacks and all that little, let me try this light. It really doesn't matter. But all that little stuff that been slithering around, like God is pushing it out into the open. Sometimes it's not people, sometimes it's issues, it's personal issues. I know with myself there was an issue that I had just not been talking about. I knew it was there, but I wasn't talking about it because I ain't like it. And God was like, no, you got to push it out there. You people need to know so they can be praying for you, and so we can chop that thing head off. But really, the purpose of this exposure and this uncovering and this uncomfortable openness that God is creating is that we are entering into a season where I believe, for me and for somebody listening to this, that He is disabling those attacks against you. You are becoming stronger, and it's almost like, now being immune to something doesn't mean going out there and being like, oh yeah, but he's setting things up in a way where it's like, I'm not gonna let it harm you, I'm not gonna let it hurt you. Like, I'm setting up blockades, like I'm smoking issues out so I can cut the head off. Like, it's disabled. You have to believe God to disable these attacks against what He is doing in your life, period. That's it. Like, that's it, y'all. That's all I got. Bye. Thanks for watching. Like, share, comment, share.